So the opportunity zone is an incredible tax savings opportunity. It is something that I've never seen before as far as tax savings when it comes to owning rental properties long term. So what Tim was referencing, what you were talking about, really is, what you could do before this, which is a 1031 exchange. And a 1031 exchange basically means that, just like Tim has a property here that he bought, I believe in 2014 for $45,000. He's selling it. He just sold it now. And I think he realized a $70,000 gain, if I remember correctly. Right.
Correct.
So in a 1031 exchange, Tim would basically have to take that rental property and then buy a new rental property. And Tim would have had to basically set that up prior to selling the previous property. So as of right now, Tim, if you haven't set that up yet, then the 1031 exchange isn't a possibility. But what that would do for Tim, if he did the 1031 exchange, is that would allow him to defer paying the taxes on that gain. So that $70,000 of income was taxable, and that, Tim would have been taxed on it, if he doesn't do something with it now, right? So because you do have to send a 1031 exchange up before you close on the previous property, that's no longer an option. So now the option that Tim's considering is this opportunity zone, because with an opportunity zone, you don't have to set it up previous to closing. What you have to do is put the money into an opportunity zone fund within 180 days after you close. So this is still an opportunity for Tim. And now let's talk about what it does for you. So a 1031 just allows you to defer taxes. What an opportunity zone fund allows you to do is to basically get that benefit. So you're able to defer taxes until the year 2026. But what it also does is it allows you to step up your basis at 2026 by either 10 or 15%. There's a few rules that we're not going to go into right now, but just assume it's 15%. So that $70,000 gain that Tim had, now that drops by 15%, and then he gets taxed on whatever 70,000 times 85% is, right? Then that's that taxable income that he has to pay at the end of 2026. So comparing this to doing nothing, Tim is now going to save whatever the savings is of that 15% step up in his basis, which is significant, right? But the really big thing, the thing that's just amazing about opportunity zones is what Tim was talking about, which is after 10 years, if you hold on to this property for 10 years, this new property that Tim's going to buy, the gains on the appreciation are not taxable at any point in the future. So Tim holds on to that thing for 11 years and it goes up $1 million in value, just for an example's sake, right? He's not going to pay gains. No, he's not going to pay taxes on that additional $1 million of appreciation that would happen, right? So it's a really amazing tax savings opportunity for those who are buying rental properties, interested in buying rental properties, interested in tax savings, and not only in rental, not only did they sell a rental property previously, but they could have sold their stocks. They could have sold a business. This can all be now going into opportunity zones. So that's the really cool part. But you know all that, right?
Yeah, that's what we've kind of gone back and forth a little bit off camera on.
There you go. There you go. So that's why people should be paying attention to this. So now, what does it take to actually create an opportunity zone fund? It's not as intimidating as it may seem. So I'll tell you what we have done personally. JWB is not going to set up this opportunity zone fund for you. You've got to go to a legal professional who's going to set it up for you. So what we do is we can connect you with the legal team that we use to set our own up. And we've talked with them. We've made sure that the rates for setting this up are not exorbitant. So think in the, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's less than $10,000, right? It's in the single thousands, right? It's not gonna break the bank. But what that means is that if you're gonna do this, you should be thinking about doing it for more than probably one property, right? It should be more of a bigger approach. So it may not make sense unless you're planning on holding on long term, and unless you have a significant amount of capital, because you are going to get eaten up in some cost of setting up the entity. But as far as the ease of it, it's just a connection that we would make with the attorney that we use. They've got all the docs, all the forms, and they'll be able to walk you through all of that. So that wouldn't be something that you should be scared about. I would say the bigger question is, how big do you want to go into this? Because if we think about what the tax savings are on that one property, it may not be worth it unless you're planning on holding on for a lot longer than 10 years. You know, if you're holding on for a really long time, it still probably makes sense for one property, right?
Yeah.
If you're only going to hold on for 9 years, it probably doesn't make sense for you, right? Because you're going to eat up in the legal fees. But if you have multiple properties and you can experience the appreciation on multiple properties and you're only holding on for 10 years or 12 years or 13 years, it still probably makes sense to do it at that point. You know what I mean?